we will be recreating EVO Moment 37 in Third Strike. This is a suggestion that's been made many times. A lot of people have been asking me to do exactly that for a long time now, and I've been dodging this challenge for a while, but I think today we'll finally do that. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson on why this topic is so prominent on my channel all the time, because it really started when Street Fighter V was introduced, when Ryu became or got the parry in Street Fighter V, and people were really disappointed with the leniency on the parry. You could recreate, I can probably show some footage for the YouTube audience. You can recreate EVO Moment 37 in Street Fighter V, and it's kind of easy because you can basically just mash the buttons. Not really, but almost. There are only like 2 moments in the parry sequence that are tougher to nail, okay? And tougher actually than in Third Strike, probably. This is something I want to know because a lot of people keep thinking that Third Strike parries were super difficult, super high skill. The problem with the Third Strike parry is, first of all, the game was not played nearly as often as pretty much any other Street Fighter game. Street Fighter 2 sold millions of copies. Street Fighter 4 is the same. Street Fighter 5 and 6, it's the same. It's a lot more actually for Street Fighter 6 and 5 in particular. Only Street Fighter 1, I guess, didn't sell a lot of copies, and Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 is the other big one that actually did not sell a lot of copies. So I think a lot of people have really like crazy nostalgia about the game for no good reason. And this is something I want to test for myself. How difficult is it actually to do the full EVO Moment 37, the Daigo versus Justin Wong parry from EVO 2004. I'm curious to see if you will eat your words on that parry. We'll see about that. Honestly, it's a challenge, right? Before we get into this, let's briefly talk about like the technical side of Street Fighter and why I think it's going to be easier to do the Third Strike parry. In Third Strike, there's no massive buffer that you had like in Street Fighter V, where you could just mash the button when you had a multi-parry scenario. And this is kind of important, by the way. The Street Fighter V parry for Ryu was only easier than Third Strike in multi-parry scenarios that were tight. All the other scenarios are actually not easier. There's a question that popped up in Street Fighter V all the time. Why, like, in Season 1 of Street Fighter V, we had Daigo, we had Tokido, just like really 2 prominent players playing Ryu, but you didn't really see a lot of parries in Street Fighter V. And the reason is really simple. It's because the parry is actually tough to get in Street Fighter V and has a massive risk attached to it because there are a lot of recovery frames. If you compare that to Third Strike, the Third Strike parry is actually more lenient, believe it or not, but the active window for getting a parry is 10 frames in Third Strike. That's a big window. In Street Fighter, like in Third Strike, it's, in Street Fighter V, it was 7 frames for Ryu. So this is, in Street Fighter V, it was significantly harder. The first parry was significantly harder to get compared to Third Strike. And any multi-hit parry that had a gap where you couldn't just mash it out was more difficult as well. So something to keep in mind. Even in Street Fighter V, even in the game where the recreated EVO Moment 37 was kind of easy to get, it wasn't the full story, and I feel like a lot of people missed out on that information. The Third Strike parry not only has a gigantic like active window with 10 frames, but it also doesn't have any recovery, and in fact you can even start blocking after you do the parry. So you can cancel any of the 10 frames that you have, like you tap forward once to get the parry, and within the 10 frame window you can start blocking again. So you get an option select. This is why the Third Strike parry was so accessible. You could basically tap parry all the time, and if you're lucky, you get a parry, and if you're not lucky, nothing bad happens. Because you're actually either like parrying or blocking. You can do both at the same time. So this is something that, even though I've never played Third Strike myself, that's a massive leniency, you know? It's not like, oh, this is difficult and only skillful players do that. No, it was very accessible. And yeah, I mean, obviously you have to differentiate between like a low parry and a regular parry. That is true. I'll give people that. Okay, it's true. You have to differentiate between the two. It's not about red parries. It's solely about, okay, how difficult is EVO moment 37, because it's a defining moment in the history of Street Fighter. It's actually the biggest moment, and I truly want to know, and this is something that nobody can answer me, by the way. It's not just about the leniency of the parry, because if there's no buffer window, because in Street Fighter 5 we had a gigantic buffer window, which is why you could mash the parries out during the Chun-li kicks. You could just mash it out and you would always get it. But this buffer window does not exist in Third Strike. So how many frames do you actually have in between each hit? This is a real question, because if there's no buffer at all, which I don't know about, by the way, then if there's only 1 frame gap between the kicks, then this might actually be a 1 frame link, like only 1 frame leniency. It could be more difficult than the Street Fighter 6 equivalent, which I doubt, by the way, but this is information that I'm actually missing. I don't really know how difficult that parry is, so I want to try that. And in order to look at the situation, I mean, I have already done the same thing in Street Fighter 6, okay? Just so you see that. Or you know what? Before I show you my clip of like how I did the famous EVO moment parry in Street Fighter 6, let's look at Daigo, okay? Daigo is the one supposedly with the skill, right? He's the one who, well, had the moment. So let's see, like, here's footage of him attempting to do it, okay? I think you'll be surprised by this. In Street Fighter 6.
Chun-li.
There we go. So this is the moment. So somebody gives him the suggestion to attempt the third strike parry in Street Fighter 6, okay?
そうむずいだろこれ。いい加減にしろよ。音ゲーだろこれは。待て待て、エボ前にやることじゃねえ。絶対に。絶対にだ。やめた。さすがに。さすがにアホすぎる。この練習は。この練習は本当にアホ。意味がないんだから。全く。いやでもさっきの勝利権は楽しかったな。
So yeah, as you can see, Daigo is struggling quite a lot to get this. And to even make any kind of progress into this.
遊びとして面白いねこれ。
And this is edited, by the way, from like a different video right now. This is just Daigo really attempting this.
いや中毒性あるのこれ。
It's pretty addictive. I gotta agree with Daigo on that one. But as you can see, Daigo himself is giving up pretty easily on this one because he realizes right away that this is not easy to do. This is not something that he'll be able to do if he practices it for like 5 or 10 minutes. He understands that this is gonna take a while to get. And I have my doubts if you have to practice for a long time to even like to think that you'll get it a single time, that you'll be doing something like that at EVO where the stakes are so high. I don't think, I mean, he kind of had to do that, right? Because he would have died, sure. But actually he didn't. Like the last hit, he didn't have to do that. But that's another discussion for like another time. But here's me doing it, okay? Here's me doing what Daigo gave up on. And right away, before I show you the footage, take a look at the time, okay? I start around 9-10 p.m. And I'm not going to show you the full thing, but basically when I'm ending, when I got it, it was 11:04 p.m. So around 2 hours of playtime. It took me around 2 hours of playtime to get it a single time. I mean, for those who really want to see it, I guess we'll watch it one time, right? Just so you see what it looks like when you actually get it. Oh! There we go, okay? And the reason why this is so difficult is because there's no good rhythm that you can follow. There's one of the parries, by the way, that is very annoying because it comes out faster than all of the other parries. It's quite annoying to do this parry and to learn how to do that. And trust me when I tell you guys, nobody in the Street Fighter community will ever land this in a real match. For multiple reasons. Like, reason number one is it actually doesn't even make any sense to use. You're actually losing drive gauge. Like, you get a disadvantage if you do this, so nobody will ever attempt it anyways. Which is a shame. I kind of hope Capcom is going to change that about the parry system in Street Fighter 6. If you do like a multi-hit perfect parry sequence like this, I feel like the game should reward you for this because it's insanely difficult. So give the players a reward. I think that would be fair. But yeah, that being said, let's check out Third Strike. Let's actually play Third Strike now and see how long it takes. This is going to take 2 hours like it did with Street Fighter 6. And keep in mind, in Street Fighter 6, I already played Street Fighter 6 plenty when I attempted the perfect parry there, so I already had a good feeling for the game. Third Strike, I've never played that game before. So if it's the same difficulty, I'm expecting to struggle even more just because, well, I don't have any clue about the game. So let's see how that's gonna go. Maybe I should seriously watch Let's Go Justin one more time just to see the amount of hits, okay? Oh, wait, it's less hits than in Street Fighter 5 apparently. Yeah, it's 771. Okay, so it's 15 hits total. Okay. There's a dummy recording option, but I'm just practicing what combo I need to be doing after I'm... Because people are going to be like, but Jimmy, you didn't do the combo. After many technical issues, I think this is the moment where we're going to check how long is it actually going to take me to do the parry, okay? In Street Fighter 6, it's 2 hours. And in Third Strike, let's see how long it's going to take. By the way, like, please don't be too brutal with me if I mess up the combo afterwards. I realize that some of the shortcuts that I'm used to on hitbox don't really work in Third Strike the same way. The execution is a little bit weird. If I played this on an arcade stick, I could actually more easily do the combos. So I've not practiced that, and it's not the point of the video anyways, right? The point is not to try and see if I can replicate it with the combo. The combo is not difficult to do if you actually play Third Strike and you're used to how the combo system works. So yeah, just a little heads up. I mean, for the Street Fighter 6 variant, I didn't do any combo either. I just checked how long does it take for me to just get the full parry. Parry sequence that's what's supposed to be difficult, right? So let's check. I recorded the training dummy to do super from now on. I know it's 15 hits. So let's see how tough that is. Oh, press replay. How do I press replay? I certainly can't find the replay button on my... There it is. I found it. Okay, I found the button. Okay, guys, I found the button. Okay. We found it. So can I get the first parry in if I don't already press forward? Now that's the question, because this is something a lot of people keep saying, that you have to already be in the parry before the animation starts. And it looks like it's correct. I think you have to do it beforehand. I mean, is it easier on hitbox? Theoretically, but I don't think the difficulty is the problem here, because the problem isn't that you need to tap forward as fast as possible. That would be a lot easier on hitbox. You need to tap forward in a specific rhythm. You tap forward and you let go, and that's fine. I went from being unable to get the first parry to getting the full 7 hits. Easy, I told you guys. Guys, this is fucking easy. This is free. Jesus Christ, is this easy? I just realized it. Okay. Okay, that was a little bit too slow. The jump parry, how does that work, by the way? I have to jump and then tap forward at the right time? I can confidently say, by the way, there is a buffer between the hits. There's no way this is not buffered. So after the initial parry, you have quite a lot of leniency. The initial parry is difficult, though. Actually, never mind. Maybe it is more strict than I think. Air parry is just forward. Okay. I would love to know the leniency on the follow-up parries. Got the first 7. Okay. Getting the first 7. What happens if I mash it? Let's test. Ah, interesting. Okay. So if you have a single parry that is mistimed during the parries, I think the follow-up parries become impossible. Oh! I got 8 this time. You know what? I'm gonna redo the recording. In Street Fighter 6, it took me 2 hours, but it was a lot faster for me to do this. Like, to test each run, you know? Okay, 8 again. Maybe number 9 is a little bit quicker. Yeah, I think I'm too early. This is the problem. Okay, how am I stunned when it turned off stun? Ah! Okay. So what? It took me like what? 15 minutes or so? To get to the final hit for the first time? It should give you an indication on the difficulty compared to Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I have to jump earlier. I was just surprised. Oh! There we go. I didn't get the correct punish, but there we go. I got the full thing. I mean, as I said, I'm gonna fuck up the correct punish afterwards, but I did get the full thing right there. Just the parry, 15 minutes. Let's keep it up. Let's see how consistent I'm actually gonna get here. Jimmy does it like he's been actively playing Third Strike. Yep, maybe I have. It's just a rhythm that you need to learn for sure. But the initial one, I gotta say, like, Daigo must have known when that's going to happen. Maybe there's like some technique where you tap forward pretty frequently just in case the opponent attempts a super. I don't really know. Ugh, I forgot what button to press on the left side. There we go. Got it again. Jimbo's a god. As I said, it's not that difficult, you know? It's not you can't compare it to Street Fighter 6. It's a lot more difficult in Street Fighter 6. I'm pretty sure each of these parries have more leniency. I don't know if it's the full 10 frames, but they're easier, no doubt about it. And you have to keep in mind, like, I have less attempts per like minute in Third Strike, because there's no quit option. There's no like save state and then replay the state, you know? I got hit by one of the hits, but I still managed to follow up afterwards. Oh, that's amazing. Wait, how the hell does that work? So wait, she clipped me in the middle of the super, but it wasn't a string?
Let's go.
Ah, I did a side swap accidentally. But yeah, that's the third time, okay? I think I'll let it go for now, okay? Yeah, so what? It took me like 15 to 20 minutes to get it the first time, and then after an additional like 15 minutes, I got it another 3 times or so, right? Obviously, the third strike parry is a lot easier than the perfect parry challenge against Chun-Li's super in Street Fighter 6. It's not comparable. Daigo gave up on it because it was a waste of time in Street Fighter 6. In third strike, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised though by the difficulty. It is not at all easy to get. It is not trivial to do this. Okay? I have not played the game, but even after like what? I've had discussions, but even after like an hour of practice, I'm not getting it down like 100% of the time, right? So it is difficult. Regardless of how I look at it, it is difficult. Unfortunately, at this point, I still don't really know if you get the full 10 frame buffer on the parry. Do you get the full 10 frame window? It's impossible to tell without having a better technical breakdown of the game. But I have to admit, at the very least, EVO Moment 37, after doing the parry myself, is not at all, like, it doesn't break any illusion. What Daigo did in 2004 was a miracle. The first parry has to be input before the super animation. That blows my mind, actually, the fact that he had the correct parry timing on the initial parry, on the initial hit on the super. That's amazing. And getting the full conversion and being ready to do the combo afterward as well. Like, rightfully the most impressive moment in fighting game history, Daigo truly deserved that title. This is not at all easy to do. And back in the days, you have to consider, I'm currently practicing this on a training mode that did not exist back in the days. In 2004, I think the only way Daigo could practice this is by having a friend do this multiple times in versus mode. I don't think there was any other way to do that back then. Maybe there was, like, let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments if you're watching the video. But this seems absurdly difficult to even practice back in the days. So yeah. Getting back to the discussion, which one is the most difficult parry? You know, the whole parry discussion that we've been having on this channel for many years. Street Fighter 5 parry having an easy like buffer and super input if you do multiple parries in specific situations. It's completely free. It's super easy to do. Obviously, third strike is a completely different beast in that regard, but single parries are easier in third strike. This is definitely true, and I think like pro players know how to utilize the system really well without taking a lot of risks. The risk reward was completely different back in the days for third strike. This is why you would see a lot of parries in that game. But still, the Chun-Li parry itself, after trying it, it's very difficult, and yeah. There's no way I can claim this was free to do. And let alone doing this at a tournament, okay? That's another discussion entirely, you know? And without good practice methods. So, kudos to Daigo for pulling off that miracle EVO moment 37 at EVO 2004. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, I definitely learned something right there.